Hello, everybody, and welcome into another News and Rumors here at the Hockey Writers. And I'm your host, Matvei Zator. And as always, for the Flyers version, we got Justin Giampietro here. Justin, how's it going?
The Flyers are still in a playoff spot. They ended last week a little rough. Then they turned it around. They won some games. They're looking good. You wouldn't be able to tell it off of what's going on social media, what people are discussing on social media specifically. You would think they're last in the league, but they're not actually. They could make the playoffs.
Doing better than a lot of the stuff that's going around. It's the same thing with here in Vancouver, too. 500, but it seems like they should rebuild. But that's another discussion for another video. So let's start with that. And the biggest thing that's going around, and at least one of them, is more on Matvei Michkov. I don't know. This is probably, I think, only one video. We haven't talked about Michkov. So we're unfortunately going to be talking about him again on this one. There's a lot more drama around him. More specifically, Sean Couturier's comments about him doing some stuff more to help the team win rather than just scoring goals, which is one of his biggest things. He can score. He's an offensive player. But what do you think about those comments by Couturier and the other stuff that's kind of going around with Michkov right now?
Well, it's probably nothing. Michkov has scored goals in each of his last two games, even though he's still not getting the ice time. Probably will never get the ice time at this point. I just don't think it's going to happen. He's got to really enamor himself with Rick Tocchet. They got to figure it out. Maybe that doesn't happen this season, but that's besides the point. What was interesting is that Couturier made comments on Michkov, how he has to help the team win in other ways, and that's kind of what Tocchet is trying to help him do. It's just feeding into this constant Michkov talk. I really don't like talking about it at this point. It is getting very redundant, but it is also frustrating because you look at a guy like Connor Bedard. Obviously, he's playing really well right now, leads the league in scoring. But at any point, have you ever heard his GM, his coaches, and his captain throw cold water on him? No, and definitely not all of them. There were times where Briere kind of threw cold water on Michkov, saying temper expectations. Tortorella did the same thing. Tocchet's doing it now, and Couturier's doing it. This is just, it's very strange. I've never seen it in my life where one player just has so much criticism and never any positivity, because he is playing good hockey right now. I think he just scored a fantastic goal on one of the best defensemen in the NHL, Jake Sanderson. Highlight reel goal, helped them force overtime. They lose in overtime, but he helped them force overtime there. And he had another great goal against Nashville. I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe things just calm down, but right now it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So I would like just a normal star player, a normal discourse around the star player of this team, the young star player on this team. But right now that is not happening.
Yeah. I mean, he's the guy that everyone's hoping that they're going to build around. I mean, as their main star guy. And I mean, right now, there's other guys coming, like Porter Martone, of course. So, there are some other young stars, but he should be one of them. And I don't know if the way they're kind of dealing with it is the right way. But, we'll see how it all plays out, because I think he could be a star in the NHL. And he's shown flashes of it already, and he's still really young. So we'll see if they can kind of figure that out. All right, well, let's move on to other things. The Flyers are doing pretty well. One of their guys that have been doing pretty well is one of their free agents that they signed. There was talk that maybe at the beginning that he might be a trade candidate. He's definitely boosting it right now. He's one of their better players. What do you think about Dvorak's contributions to the team and how he's playing right now?
Well, the idea from the get-go was that the Flyers signed Dvorak to that kind of big contract. It's only 1 year, but $5.4 million. That was probably twice as much as people expected him to get. And that was the thing that people talked about, like, whoa, 5.4 million for Christian Dvorak. But the idea was that the Flyers, would be maybe competitive, but probably not in the playoffs. And they trade Dvorak at the deadline, and then they get a second, third round pick type thing, and it'd be good. And they would get free assets just to have a guy on their team for half a season, a little over half a season. But he's playing well right now, and Rick Tocchet really likes him, playing him 17 minutes a game. He has 9 points in 15 games. So he's got that two-way value right now. He's putting up points. He's also playing the other end of the ice, and he's playing big minutes, all situations, penalty kill, even power play. And of course, that rotating first, second, third line kind of thing all season. That much has changed throughout the year, but again, he's getting minutes, and Tocchet really is leaning on this player. And now you have the conversation of, do you keep him or do you trade him once the deadline comes, assuming that everything kind of remains the way it is. The Flyers are a borderline wildcard team, maybe in the wild card, and Dvorak keeps playing well. What do? I looked to the Sean Walker trade a couple years ago. The Flyers were in a playoff spot. They were in the playoffs for most of that season, and they ultimately missed them. But at the deadline, Sean Walker, key player, second pairing defenseman, one of their better defensemen on the team too, and they trade him for a first round pick because they're in a rebuild. They didn't really expect to make the playoffs, and they had to commit to that rebuild. And maybe they do that again with Dvorak. Maybe they don't. Maybe they extend him because, again, he does have that history with Rick Tocchet. So maybe he doesn't let them trade him. And that would kind of make sense. Again, he is playing well, and he's not old. He's only 29. So he should have a few good years left in him. So it'll be an interesting decision, especially if things remain the way they are.
Yeah, because he could fetch pretty good on the trade market, especially a prorated salary too. It's not going to be that full 5 million rate. So yeah, it could be an interesting deadline guy. I mean, he'd be a playoff type forward for teams as well. So yeah, that's going to be something to monitor for sure, especially if he keeps playing the way he has. All right, from positive to negative, I guess. Owen Tippett. I mean, he's just signed a pretty big extension not that long ago. It was a couple years. And he's got, 6 years left on it now still, and not doing very well. And he keeps reducing his point production. He's not as big an offensive producer as I think everyone was hoping that he would be or continue to be, and maybe even get better. Is this not looking like the good decision that it might have been when they did sign it?
What's interesting is that when he originally signed the extension, the thought was that he would continue to get better, but he has continued to get worse production-wise. Right now, and of course he is Flyers fans know, he is a hot and cold player. He'll score 4 goals in 5 games and then go 4 or 5 games without a goal, and he'll go 4 or 5 games with a goal. Keep repeating that cycle. But as of now, he only has 6 points in 15 games, and he is getting some pretty good ice time too. He's gotten looks on the first line. He's gotten looks with Zegras. He's gotten looks with Michkov. He's gotten looks with Couturier, Konechny, all those guys. And still, 6 points in 15 games. That's just over 30-point pace. For $6.2 million per season in the supposed prime of his career. Yeah, that's not great, especially considering he will probably regress when he's toward the end of that deal. He'll be 33 years old. That's just natural. That's nothing against him as a player. That just happens to everyone. And so when you consider that, not looking like a great decision, especially if he's going to continue getting these top 6 minutes, these power play minutes, and he's not going to produce, that is concerning. If you reduce his role, that's a lot easier to palate. I thought he played some of his best hockey when he was a third liner last season, even some parts of this season. That just kind of seems natural for him, a third line play driver instead of a first line play driver, which they have him at now. It's not working. maybe they kind of experiment, but as it is right now, it's just not working. Again, 30-point pace, not really what you want out of an offensively driven player.
Mm-hmm. Especially when he's getting paid a pretty good amount as well. So we'll see. I mean, again, lots of time still to go. I mean, it's not overly old. So hopefully that can change as time goes on as well. All right, finish off video, and we go from positive to negative to positive. And that's the Phantoms are doing pretty well right now. And there's a few guys that you mentioned in the latest News and Rumors article, and that's Denver Barkey, Carson Bjarnason, and Christian Kyrou. What have you been impressed by those three so far here?
Well, Barkey, he recently had a 4-point game, definitely a breakout. I think he's been good all season long, but that 4-point game really stands out. I will admit I haven't watched it yet. I plan to put like an article together, something like that, but he's had a good year, I thought. He's a rookie, only 20 years old. And when you get those kind of games, even if it is just one game, if you're scoring 4 points in a game, that says a lot, especially at the pro level, especially when you're 20 years old. It says where you are as a player. And I think he could continue to get better. And he's not just a scoring guy. He really impacts the game. I wouldn't necessarily say he's an all three zones guy. I mean, he does. I think he does impact all three zones. He's good defensively, great in the neutral zone, but he's just a high energy guy. I think that's the best way to describe him. He's everywhere. You notice him every shift. And that's the type of flyer, even though he's smaller, the Flyers could really use, that any team could really use, any playoff team could really use. And it's good to see the points coming, especially in those one game sample sizes. It's great to see. And I think he has a lot of potential at the next level. Another guy, Carson Bjarnason, also 20 years old, also a rookie. He's having a good year. He's been the backup for Alexei Kolosov most of the season. When he got called up, Bjarnason was the starter, de facto starter there. And I thought he held his own, and I thought he's looked good all season long. He's 3-1-1, 918 save percentage. Those are good numbers, especially at the AHL level, again, for a rookie. Just kind of getting that feel. And again, it's not always a given. AHL can be really difficult for some guys, but he's really figuring it out. It's only 5 games so far, still November, but I think he's playing well, and he's advanced his game from the WHL, from juniors, and that's what I really like to see. More consistency. I think he looks calmer in net. And yeah, in the WHL, it was kind of a little inconsistency, I felt. And now he looks like a solid starter at the AHL level. And again, you can't take that for granted. That is basically right below the NHL level. So he'll need more development. Obviously, goalies take a little bit longer to develop, but that's looking good so far, Carson Bjarnason. And the last guy, the Flyers just traded for him, Christian Kyrou. They swapped him for Samu Tuomala, a forward who was never really going to get ice time with the Flyers. I never envisioned that. He wasn't even really getting ice time with the Phantoms, so it made sense for that swap. And the Flyers get Kyrou, and on the back end, he has 7 points in 4 games. That's pretty impressive, of course, to score like that as a defenseman in the AHL. He's more of an offensive defenseman. I watched a few of his games, a few of his better games when he was with the Texas Stars of the AHL, who they made the swap with. And he's definitely a power play producer, solid on the power play. He can move the puck. He can skate pretty well. He's definitely an interesting player, and only 22 years old as well. So I think he has upside as an NHL player, as kind of a bottom pairing power play specialist. That could be his role. And when you consider Tuomala probably wasn't going to get any ice time with the Flyers, maybe ever, that's a pretty good deal of business if he can continue standing out. Not 7 points in 4 games good, but if he can continue, producing and standing out and doing the right things, that could be a nice little bit of work by Danny Briere.
Yeah, I like Christian Kyrou in his draft year. I pretty sure I wrote his prospect profile, maybe not. But I mean, I was really impressed by him. And Dallas, I mean, they're good at picking those later round guys, and of course, not part of their system anymore. But he could turn into something in the NHL and showing pretty well in the AHL so far. So I've really liked him. So I think he could end up being something for the Flyers too. And Bjarnason, like you said, with the goaltending, the AHL can be tough on goaltenders. There's some guys that it takes a few seasons before they actually look good, and then they get called up to the NHL. So him getting that early looking good. I mean, again, like you said, very early in the season. But yeah, it's a good sign so far. All right. Well, there's another video for the Flyers as we continue through the season. We'll see if there's any more Michkov stuff we talk about next week. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's on positive that he's scoring a ton of goals and the criticism stopped, but we'll see. But until our next one, make sure to check out everything at thehogbears.com. We've got great articles throughout the site on the Flyers and also our Substack. Make sure to check in that. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. And then all of our other videos on the YouTube channel. But until our next one, we will see you next time.